Hey, what up everybody? Welcome back. So leo nataka tu kurant. Nilikuwa in the office with my colleagues and we were talking about money. I'm in the financial industry, so that's basically kenye si ongea on a daily basis. But tulikuwa tunaongea about, you see how if you're working, your salary covers what you need to do to exist and to live and to have fun. So nguo, nyumba, food, entertainment, gifts, kila kitu comes from your salary. But what happens the day your employer looks at you and says, you, I don't need you no more. Ebu jikate. Next month utaweza kulipa bills zako? If so, how many months utaweza kulipa bills zako before you start looking for a job or asking for handouts? If the answer is less than a year, then hii video ni for you. So, what's on your update? So this rant tulikuwa nayo kwa Ofe, it was one set of guys walikuwa nasema niaje joboza bad nini, become an entrepreneur, hustle outside there, figure out venye kuget do yako and then bounce. The other set was saying, hey Zao, now employers are good, so we give them our loyalty, we just jipanga and save and nini, and by the time we're retiring tutakuwa middle class na tutakuwa at least sawa. So I was in the first group, acha nijiseme tu hapo, but after review the conversation and listening to a few guys, especially someone like Dave Ramsey, by the way mtafuteni kwa YouTube, very good resource. Muskiza Robert Kiyosaki a lot, that's why I'll talk more entrepreneurial than anything else. But someone like Dave Ramsey focuses on msee anataka kwa middle class but anakusho venye kwa at least stable. So part of what he says ni that we live like no one else will now, so that later we can live like no one else can. Brilliant advice. Anakuambia uko na emergency fund 6 months, at least 3 to 6. Now, the reason this is great advice is because most of us, if we're fired today, by next month we have moved out, we have sold our shit, we have changed our entire lives. Kwa nini tunaishi paycheck to paycheck? So, si need to admit that to anyone else, but nahitaji ujijue. If that is you, that is good. At least unajua mali yuko na unajua you can improve this. So, when he says live like no one else will, so that you can live like no one else can, anamaanisha most people don't really know where their finances are, don't really want to figure out how to be independent, even though they love their jobs, how to be independent of their employer in terms of living expenses. Inamaanisha nini? Kuna like 4 ranks za spending. So the first one is survival. Survival is wherever your life is. Example, mse ana earn 50 Gs, rent ni sema 15k ama 20k, shopping ni 5, utilities za nyumba nini zote zina come to 10, then transport ni 6 ama 7, and miscellaneous 3, so 40k imeenda to his lifestyle. So survival yake ni 40k. 10k on top is probably what you party with, what you buy clothes with, what you take your girl out for. Hizo vitu, whatever you do with this 10 is not necessary for you to eat and sleep and have electricity and live ndani hiyo kakun. So survival level yako ni 40 Gs. So first thing someone someone that spends 40 Gs on their life should do is figure out how to have 3, 6, 8, 12 months worth of those expenses. Okay, so sema uko na 3 months worth of your living expenses, uko na 120,000 save up mahali. So just in case that your employer tells you Buddha bounce, unamwambia ni fiti, and for the next 3 months you're in that house hustling how to get another job, if that's the case. Yeah, so most of us don't have that, and if we don't have that, then we cannot have the serenity of mind to sema okay, so your job imeisha, wacha nijipate enough time to relax, maybe a week, 2 weeks, and then I'll get on the grind, send my CVs places, figure out the next job that I'll get, so that at least by the time 3 months is meisha, I've gotten another source of income. We don't have that. We'll panic, we'll sell things, and yeah. So savings si culture tuko nayo sana. Now back to ile debate nilikuwa nayo. So half was saying entrepreneurship is the key. You owe your employer nothing. Figure out how to earn money outside of your employer and jikate. And the other one was like, no, your employer helped you get to where you are in terms of your life, so you owe them that loyalty. At least work for them until you retire, and whatever utakuwa save up, itakuwa enough to ensure that you have a happy retirement. So 2 things. One, whatever you're going to save up is not going to be equal to what your expenses are currently. If una need doubt and you're employed, chukua payslip yako, angalia how much your deductions are. It's usually 5% of what you earn. So if you earn 100,000, 5k is something, 5k 500, that is hard. 5k 500 goes to your pension. Your employer matches that, so that's 11,000. Even if you save this over the period of, say, in my case, 29 years or 30 years, my current living expenses will not be matched by that bulk amount that I get at the end of when I'm 60. Alafu nichukue niweke kwa bond. Bond siku hizi, Kaujui bonds ni issued by the government mostly. Zinafanya, especially hizi zinaitangwa infrastructure bonds, zinafanyanga about 12% per annum. At 12% per annum, it doesn't pay me enough to match my current lifestyle. I'll need to save the equivalent of, say, 3 times what I am currently putting into my pension, ndio niweze could just match my living expenses saizi. Na saizi niko 31. So at 60 I should live like I am at 31. Si factor in watoi, si factor in medical expenses, si factor in hizo vitu zote. So yes, the first group had a point, which is figure out your expenses outside of your employer. I didn't agree with the first group, though nilikuwa part of them, ya loyalty. I believe wherever you're employed right now, you're employed there because you're there to learn as you earn. So you should love what you're doing. If you don't, that is okay. By the way, that happens. Siwezi kulaumu because even though tumeambiwa get an education, get a good job, lipwa nini. If it's not where you feel you can learn, you can grow, you can mature, you can figure out yourself, slowly transition yourself to somewhere else. Because at least if you have your foot in a job, you can easily get another one. If you don't, then figure out what you can do to improve your odds. Your advice sikwangi na sana, but I'm sure the internet does. Okay? So for the second group, wala wanafikiria loyalty, your pension, your savings will get you through to retirement and a comfortable one, niko na advice for them, or rather niko na opinion, and this is based on Dave Ramsey. First, figure out what your expenses are. If you can have a buffer for those expenses, at least, even if your employer is not as loyal as you are to them, you have enough time to figure out the next place you'll go to. At least that. So, nimemaliza rant yangu. I agree with both sides. I was initially polarized. I was initially polarized in one direction, But when I reviewed it and also listened to Dave Ramsey, I realized both camps had a point. Loyalty is important to your employer, but not to the extent that you expect them to take care of you when you retire. You should have an emergency fund that covers 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. And then on the other end, entrepreneurship is important. Why? Because even if you're going to continue and build your career, easy living expenses zako, whatever side hustles you have, let them match and even surpass EDO that you need to maintain your current living standards. So, my rant is over. Thank you very much for listening. See you on the next one.